Hey, 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 welcome back to English with Confidence, the podcast where we talk about real topics in real English so you can build your confidence one conversation at a time. I'm Pedro.
And I'm Gabby. So happy you're here today, seriously. Whether you're listening on your commute, doing the dishes, or just chilling on the couch, welcome. You picked a great episode.
We really did pick a good one today. So today's question is one of those big ones, like the kind of question you think about at 2 in the morning when you can't sleep. The question is, does everything happen for a reason? Does life have a plan? Is it all fate and destiny? Or is it just random? We're going to explore both sides today, share some personal stories, and honestly, we just want to hear what you think too. So stay with us.
Okay, so Pedro, let's just jump right in. Do you believe everything happens for a reason?
Okay, honestly, I go back and forth on this. Like, sometimes I really do feel like certain things were meant to happen. And other times I think, no, life is just chaos and we're trying to make sense of it.
Right.
Like, I missed a flight once. Completely stressful. I was so annoyed. And then I met someone on the next flight who ended up being a really important connection for me professionally. And I thought, okay, maybe there was a reason I missed that first flight.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, that's the kind of story that makes you go, Like, it's so easy to look back and connect the dots, right? Love that, connecting the dots. Okay, so for me, and I think a lot of people feel this way, I grew up in a family where we believed in God, in a plan, in destiny. So from a young age, when something bad happened, the response was always, trust the process. There's a reason for this. And honestly, that belief, that faith, gave people comfort. My grandmother, she lost a lot in her life, and what kept her going was believing it all had a purpose. And I think that's really powerful.
That is powerful. And I think that's one of the main reasons so many people hold on to this belief, right? It's comforting. When life is hard, when you lose a job or a relationship ends or something painful happens, it really helps to think, okay, this is leading me somewhere better.
Totally. It gives you hope, and hope is a huge thing. Without it, it's really hard to keep moving forward.
But then you have the other side of the argument, and this is where it gets really interesting. From a scientific point of view, from a rational, logical perspective, there's actually no evidence that the universe has a plan. Things just happen, randomly. A butterfly flaps its wings in Brazil and causes a storm somewhere else.
The butterfly effect.
Yes, the butterfly effect, which basically means that tiny random events can have massive consequences that nobody planned. And scientists who study chaos theory say the universe is fundamentally unpredictable. There's no blueprint.
Okay. Yeah, and that kind of thinking can be scary, but also kind of freeing. Like, if nothing is predetermined, then you get to decide what your life means. You have free will.
That's a great point. Free will. The idea that you're in the driver's seat of your own life. Not destiny, not fate. You.
Yes. Note that one down, guys. Okay, so let me ask you something, Gabby. Have you ever had a moment in your life where something really bad happened, and at the time you thought, why is this happening to me? And then later you looked back and thought, oh, I understand now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so a few years ago, I didn't get a job that I really, really wanted. Like, I had prepared so much, I was so confident, and then nothing. They chose someone else, and I was devastated. I was crushed, but because that door closed, I ended up taking a completely different path, and that path led me here, doing something I actually love. So now when I look back, I think, okay, maybe it had to happen that way.
See, and that's such a relatable story. And there's actually a popular saying in English, when one door closes, another one opens. Have you heard that one?
Very optimistic. Okay, but here's a question I want to throw out there. And this is something a philosopher might ask. If everything happens for a reason, does that mean bad things are also part of the plan? Like war, illness, tragedy?
Yeah, that's the tough part. That's where this belief gets really complicated. Because it's easy to say everything happens for a reason when something mildly annoying happens, like missing a bus, but when something truly terrible happens, it's so much harder to accept that idea. And I think a lot of people who don't believe in fate would say, look, bad things happen because of human choices or because of nature, not because of some cosmic plan. And blaming fate can actually stop people from taking responsibility or taking action to change things.
Ah, that's such a good point. Like, if you say it was meant to be, sometimes that can become an excuse, right? Like, you stop trying to improve your situation because you think, well, this is just how it's supposed to be.
Yes, and I think that's a real risk. There's actually a psychological term for this. It's called fatalism. Fatalism is the belief that all events are fixed in advance and humans have no control. And research shows that extreme fatalism can actually make people feel less motivated.
Right, right. Because why bother trying if everything is already decided?
Exactly. But I also think most people who believe in destiny don't take it that far. Most people use it more as a comfort, like a safety net. They believe they have choices, and they believe things work out the way they're supposed to. It's not one or the other for most folks. And yeah, I think that's how many people use faith or the idea of destiny as a safety net, not as a reason to give up, but as a reason to keep going.
Okay, so we've talked about fate and science. We've shared some personal stories. What about the spiritual angle? Because a lot of cultures and religions around the world have very specific beliefs about this, right?
Oh, absolutely. In Christianity, there's the idea of God's plan, of providence, the belief that God has a purpose for everything that happens. In Islam, there's the concept of qadar, divine destiny. In Hinduism and Buddhism, there's karma, the idea that your actions in this life and past lives shape what happens to you. These are deeply held beliefs for billions of people worldwide.
Yeah, and even people who don't follow a specific religion often still feel like, there's something bigger out there, like a force or energy or the universe guiding things along. You hear people say, I trust the universe, or the universe had other plans for me.
Ha, yes, the universe had other plans. That's such a common thing to say. And it's interesting because it gives agency to the universe, like it's a person making decisions, which is kind of funny if you think about it. And that's actually a concept in psychology. It's called apophenia. It's the tendency for humans to see patterns and meaning in random events. Our brains are wired to find stories, to connect things. It's just how we're built.
Oh, that is so fascinating. So even the act of believing that things happen for a reason might be a built-in feature of the human brain. We just can't help it.
Exactly. We're meaning-making machines. And maybe that's okay. Maybe finding meaning, even in random events, is what makes life feel worth living.
I love that. Meaning-making machines. I think I want that on a t-shirt. Okay, so here's another thought. What if it's not really about whether things happen for a reason, but about the reason we give them? Like, we choose the meaning.
Oh, that's deep, Gabby. That's really deep.
I have my moments. But seriously, like maybe the event itself is neutral. Something happens, it just is. But then we decide what it means for our lives. And that decision, that's where our power is.
I really like that framing, and it kind of bridges both sides of the argument. You don't have to choose between fate and free will. You can say, things happen, and I choose how to respond to them, and that response shapes my story. Okay, so we're getting close to wrapping up, and I want to ask our listeners something directly. What do you believe? Do you think everything happens for a reason?
Yes, drop your answer in the comments. We genuinely love reading what you think. And if you have a personal story, a moment where you felt like something happened for a reason, please share it. Those stories are always so interesting.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's do a quick summary before we go. Today, we explored the idea that everything happens for a reason. We talked about how this belief gives people comfort and hope, especially in hard times. We looked at the spiritual side, from religion to simply trusting the universe.
And we also explored the other perspective, that life is random, that science points to chaos rather than a plan, and that free will means we're the ones steering our lives. Neither side is wrong, by the way. This is one of those beautiful questions that doesn't have a simple answer.
And maybe what matters most isn't whether the universe has a plan. Maybe what matters is that you have a plan, that you find meaning, that you keep going, and that you choose to grow from whatever life throws at you.
Beautifully said, Pedro. Okay, on that note, if you enjoyed today's episode, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. We come out with new content every week, and every episode is a chance to learn something new in English.
Yes, and remember, every time you listen to English, every time you pick up a new phrase, every time you push through a hard conversation, that's you building your confidence. And we are so proud of you for that. Keep going.
We'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.